Hi, welcome back to True Story with John Gibson. Today's guest is just an awesome man. He's a 10-time world champion, John Wayne Parr. Thanks so much for joining me.
Hey, no worries. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, of course, of course. This is a big honor. I have been a fan of yours for a long time. I was trying to do the math today while doing some prep, kind of going over some fight footage and stuff, and I pinpointed it, man. I determined I have been your fan for officially 16 years, since 2004.
Holy crap. That's a long time.
I know, it's funny.
Yeah.
So, usually I love to I'm all about positivity, all the good stuff, man. I think that's one of the reasons I followed you first because of your fighting, obviously your fight style and your storied career. But to this day, I follow you now because you're so positive. You're a great dad. Like you're a family man, so
Yeah.
I feel like, I really appreciate some of that stuff too. But anyway, with that being said, sorry about that. With that being said, you've had such a storied career that, I think it'd be unfair for me to just throw out like specific fights here and there. But I do kind of have some questions because you fought all over the world. You started so young. I'm curious to learn a little bit more about like why you chose Muay Thai or excuse me, Muay Thai, and how I guess let me start there. Maybe why you chose that and like at such a young age, what those influences were.
I'm also location. The kickboxing gym just happened to be closest to the home. I
Wow.
tried it out, and then just by pure chance, not long after I started, the movie Kickboxer with Van Damme came out.
Yeah.
And then here I am doing kickboxing, and this movie comes out, and it tells a story about a gentleman going to Thailand. It's like, that's my new life goal now. I have to get to Thailand somehow. I want to fight the most ferocious Thai. I want to be that guy. And then from an early age, I made a goal that I didn't just want to win a world title against another Australian or another Westerner. I had to be against a Thai person. And then I'm so fortunate how it worked out. I ended up winning 2 world titles in Thailand. So yeah, I got
Right.
to live my dream twice. Yeah, no,
It
very fortunate how it worked out.
absolutely. And it's so amazing too, because you had early success in kickboxing in Australia. I think and maybe I'm wrong here, but just off the top of my head, I think like your first world championship was like 92 or something. And
Oh
then
no,
maybe
2000.
Oh,
Yeah,
2000. So
so
it was Muay Thai, maybe. I'm kidding. WK
yeah,
or
so
something. Okay.
I went to Thailand in '96, and I started fighting all the Thais and started fighting
Right.
Lumpini and King's birthdays and doing all these amazing things and fighting in Japan. But the only thing I didn't have was a world title to my name. And I'm thinking, oh, how is anyone going to take me seriously if I don't have a world title? But here I am doing all this amazing things and traveling the world. But I just felt like I needed that world title. And then the opportunity came finally in the year 2000, and ended up fighting a guy from Brisbane, which is like an hour away. So he was the current champion.
Right.
So I stopped him in the second round. And then just so luckily, the King's birthday was 3 months after. So I traveled back to Bangkok and I won my second world title so I was a 2-time world champion all within 3 months. So,
Right.
and then the second one was more legit because it'd been a Thai that had previously beaten by a cut. And then I finally, 3 years later, I got my revenge. And
Right.
then on the King's birthday, they do it in front of a crowd of 100,000 people live on Thai TV. So not only did I get the win, but I got to be that guy in front of so many people
Yes.
on prime time. So it just cemented everything. And then from then on in, I've been like very lucky to win 10 world titles since then. So
Right.
yeah, it's been a dream run ever since.
Well, exactly. And it was such a storied career. But one thing, to your credit, none of this would have been possible if you weren't so active. Like
Yeah.
you took that mentality of Muay Thai and you were fighting, 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 fighting. Like how did you do that for 15 years straight? Like you just didn't
Money.
stop.
Money.
Yeah.
25 years. So I moved to Thailand in
Yeah.
'96, and then it's been 25 years since then. And then because our prize money isn't very much, back in the old days, you'd fight for $1,000, $2,000,
Wow.
maybe 5,000. If it was like 5,000, oh my god!
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you thought you hit the jackpot with 5,000, and then so the more consistent you can fight, you can't afford to fight twice a year. Otherwise, you got to get a job. No one wants to get a
Right.
job. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Throw yourself in the gauntlet and then 1997 I ended up having 9 fights in 12 months. That
Oh.
was probably my most busiest year, and that was the year that I won strongest foreigner in Thailand of that year. So
Yeah.
I came back to Australia, started 2000, opened up my own gym here in Australia, and then been very lucky to be consistent ever since. But since then, the prize money's gone up a bit, so I can afford to fight maybe 4 or 5 times a year now. But yeah, unfortunately, we still don't make UFC money.
It's a shame.
It's so annoying when you see guys making $100,000-$200,000 complaining that they don't make enough money. And here I am fighting for like a McDonald's voucher, and then they're fighting for 100,000. Oh, our prize money's on. Try fighting on a cheeseburger and chips.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy too, because the sacrifice that you guys do in your body, it's so different. I mean, it's not just a striking discipline. I mean, with the elbows and the knees and stuff, it's brutal. Like, I mean, it's a vicious sport, right?
So far, out of my 148 fights, I've had 346 stitches in my face from fighting with elbows.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so you pick up 10 here, 20 there. The most I've had in one fight is 54 in one fight. I ended up, it was 5 rounds, and I got a cut every round. So round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4. Then the round 5 was enough to go to my skull, where the blood was like spurting out a couple of feet in front of me. I think, might be time to stop now.
Yeah.
And then the worst part was, so this was back in '98.
Okay.
And then
I'm trying to remember.
So the doctor, he's not allowed to leave ringside till after the show because the action's still happening. He said, I can put some butterfly tape on it for now, and I'll put you together in the change room after the event finishes. So I watched the last few fights. The show finishes. I go back to the change room. I lay on the table. The doctor's preparing all these suturing gear. And I said, oh, out of curiosity, what time is it? He goes, oh, it's just turned midnight. I said, oh, it's my birthday. I just turned 22. He goes, oh, happy birthday. Pick a cut. So for the first 2 hours, of my 22nd birthday, I ended up with 54 stitches.
Oh my God.
That was the worst birthday present ever. ever.
Yeah. That's crazy. What a crazy. It's like, I mean, it's those stories though. It's like, so you want to be a fighter? You know, like this is the reality, you know?
The fight was interstate. So I fought that night. Then I came home back to Queensland day of my birthday, and I looked like I've been hit by a bus.
Right.
And everyone's going, oh, you poor thing. What happened? Trying to explain, because this guy was almost closed and all these stitches all over my face and just black eyes. And it was really rough.
Yeah.
And then trying to go out in the town to celebrate my birthday. And everyone's like, oh, you poor thing. Did you get hit by a bus?
Felt like it. Yeah.
So I got the sympathy. I wanted
for sure.
The celebration you want when you turn 22.
Yeah. You know, but it didn't deter you. It didn't stop you one bit. You know, that's for sure. Let me ask you this, like, you know, it's crazy. Like I'm a big fan of yours. So like, I appreciate you and I appreciate your technique and like your style, you know, and I could identify you out of a lineup, you know, if the head was, I would know it was you, you know, if the head were blurred, man. But that being said, like, over your career, rules have changed. They've morphed. You fought in all these different associations and stuff and organizations. Like, how did you deal with that as you went? I mean, you just had to, I guess, is the answer. But I always wondered about
I'm
that.
just fortunate that I'm very lucky to say that I've been lucky to fight for Bellator. I've been on the Contender, now fighting for one championship, and then fighting for Evolution and doing all these different things all over the world. And hopefully at the end of my career, I can write down a resume and hopefully be one of the elite that when I retire, when I pass away, that people will reflect and think of all the great fighters, and hopefully I can be amongst those top 5 that left an impression on everybody.
Man, you're top 5, like Rushmore for sure for me, man. I mean, you also fought, I mean, I don't know the total fights, but at least 150 fights, right?
148, including
148.
So 134 Muay Thai and then 14 boxing. So so got to dabble in a couple of different styles, and K1 as well. So
and K1 as well. And I'm glad you brought up the Contender Series Asia, because that was, dude, you went on a tear. You were awesome during that stretch, and like what was that experience like? What a cool opportunity.
Oh, that was amazing. I was a last minute substitute. They'd already had their cast already chosen. And then I seen all the promotions on YouTube. So, that'll be amazing to be part of. It seems like such a great opportunity. And then just happened, the phone rang approximately a week before filming started. And so, we've had a last minute pull out. Is there any chance you want to jump on and be a part of the show? And I was like, this is the dream for sure. So a couple of days later, I was on the plane, flew to Singapore. And then we got to arrive at the hotel a week before the filming started. And then we weren't supposed to correspond with the other fighters, but because you're in the same hotel, you're seeing each other in the foyer. And you're looking at different guys up and down, making sure, I wonder if he's one of the guys, and then we all started to work out who was who, and then we started chatting, and there was a gentleman called Rafik from France, and then we'd be sitting around looking at a laptop watching fights, and then all of a sudden this gentleman would start piping up saying, oh, look, when you fight Thais, you cannot show them any respect, you have to be this and that, and he's trying to give us all these lectures how to, and I said, oh, out of curiosity, how many Thais have you fought? I have fought 3. 3? You've only fought 3. I fought like 40 Thais, and you're lecturing me how to fight Thais. Yeah. Oh, but you don't understand. I fought this guy, this guy, and this guy. So that equates to like 40 Thais. I said, no, it doesn't. It equates to 3. 3.
Yeah, no, bro, that's 3.
And then he ended up being like the villain of the show. We had a good story. But straight away, he was just and everyone said, oh, did he play a character? Nah. He was actually a dickhead. He was a dickhead in real life.
Yeah.
He played a good bad guy.
Yeah. Made great TV, I bet. Yeah,
for sure. And then the best part was when it aired here in Australia, it aired on one of the regular family channels. So usually the Muay Thai is on the sports channel, and only the hardcore guys are watching it. But because it was aired on it's called Fox 8 here in Australia, and then I had opportunities for mums and kids and other people to see it. And then every day I had double the numbers for about 2 years. The gym was like full. I couldn't ask for a better time.
Yeah.
And then being on TV every week, and then being on the commercial, and then making the final. It was such an honor to be part of the TV show. They made me the face of it here in Australia. So they flew me down to Sydney. I got to do all the promos and all the advertisements and stuff, and it was a very special time.
What an amazing experience. That is awesome. That is cool. Kind of transitioning a little bit, again, I follow you on social media and stuff. I see that, you're actively just always training with your kids and your wife and stuff like that. Do you feel like maybe your kids are like you? Do you think they're going to want to compete one day?
For sure.
Yeah.
My oldest daughter, she's recently had surgeries on her hip. So she's having a little bit of time off for recovery. My son's fallen head over heels over jiu-jitsu.
Oh, awesome.
We started jiu-jitsu about 12 months ago in the gym. We have very lucky to have Daniel Amada, who teaches a Brazilian professor, and he's amazing. He's like the kid whisperer.
Yeah.
He tells the kids, all right, kids, and everyone stands up to attention, and they all pay attention. It's amazing. And then it's just a whole new world. And then my son's not so much Muay Thai, but he's fallen in love with the passion of the jiu-jitsu and going to comps every second week.
Wow.
He's got a bazillion trophies or medals already on the wall. So just to see him have the passion for martial arts, just like I did when I was his age, is very humbling to see them want to follow their own footsteps and create their own legacy.
Yeah. And he could not look more like you. He could literally be your twin. It's like crazy. It's crazy. Wow, that's really awesome. You can share that passion together. Yeah.
And then he asked me, he goes, oh, Dad, there's a competition in 2 weeks. I said, you don't have to ask me. The more you can go in, the more experience you gain. So if you see one, just let's book it straight away. Then it doesn't matter how far it is. We'll make time to make sure you pursue your passion.
That's great.
I don't want to be one of those that hold you back. I want you to go full steam ahead. And the more experience you get on the mat, and the more experience you have for future in life. Being only 13 now, imagine when he's early 20s, he's going to be an animal. So
yes, absolutely.
It's so cool. And then my little one, she's 7, and she's got a bunch of golds and a couple of silvers, and because she's at that awkward age, she has to wrestle the boys. So some days she'll be the only girl, and there'll be like 4 or 5 boys. And then sometimes she'll win and get a gold against boys. And just to see her confidence level as a 7-year-old little girl, and it's like, well, I'm not inferior. I can do what just everyone else does. So why can't I be special too? And it's like, you chase it, you chase your own dream, become your own legend.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's so cool.
Yeah, beautiful.
Oh, for sure. Martial arts. I think if everyone could train some sort of martial arts, I think it'd be a world would be a better place. Not just Muay Thai or just boxing or just jiu-jitsu, but any form of martial arts where you have to dedicate your time and your passion and getting your mind, body, and spirit all in aligned.
Yes.
And instead of sitting in front of the TV and watching the news and going crazy because the world's ending, and then but you go to training, you turn off for an hour, you're sweating, you're getting your endorphins running, and then you feel alive. You feel amazing. Exactly. And then if you have the opportunity to train with your kids too, then you have a bond Hey, are you sore from training? Oh, how tired was it? Oh, it was so hard. And then you just have that connection with your kids too. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm very blessed. I'm very lucky.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And I'm so happy to hear that you were able to forge this life for yourself and have a life or like in a business in martial arts and then share it with the next generation. But you worked hard for it, my man. Your stitches, they all prove it, the scars, you earned every bit of it. So but you help self-realize a dream, and
nice.
That's what I'm all about, man. I love it. You picked a destiny. I did want to ask you one thing as you were talking. Did you learn some of that, like how you are with your children from your parents? Were they super supportive to your martial arts growing up?
No, growing up. My parents were in the horse racing industry, so we were always constantly moving. I ended up going to 11 different schools growing up. It was very, very awkward. Always being the new kid. It was like you've seen Karate Kid. I was like the Daniel. I was like the real life Daniel. So always having to blend in with the crowd and always being the new kid introduced to the class. And just as you start forming a bunch of friends, all right, it's time to move again. It's like, no.
Yeah. No, I understand.
But at that stage, it also taught me to rely on me. I had no one else to fall upon. And being an only child at the time too. If I wanted something done, I'd do it myself. I had to chase my own dream. There was no one else going to lift me up or create the opportunity for me. I had to create it myself. And then every time we moved, our first priority was to find a new gym because that was my happy place. That was my place where I could shine. Even though I was new, they don't have to watch me train once or twice. And then the trainer's like, hey, you're something special. So they take me under their wing straight away. And I just felt like I'd be accepted into the martial arts. Not in school as you got older. When you're in primary school and the kids are, hey, you want to come play with my toys? But as you reach high school, all of a sudden they're like, it's very hard to blend in and become one of the. They've all got their all set groups.
You click up.
But as soon as I hit the gym, everyone's like, oh, you're not bad. You're pretty good. Mm-hmm. And then I think that's why I was able to live in Thailand for so long, because I was so used to being by myself that it was easy to go to another country and just blend in and not get homesick and not have because I moved so much. I didn't have a home. Always being new. And then when I got to Thailand, I was the only Westerner in my whole city. So I'd go months at a time without seeing another white person. Wow. And then after about a month or so, I was like, I can't rely on hungry, sleepy, shower. I've got to learn this language. So my new goal was to try and pick up how to speak Thai. So every day I try and learn 5 words like, what's this? What's this?
Wow.
And then I try and learn 5 words a day. And then at nighttime, as I'm lying on my pillow, I try and rethink what those words are. And the next day, I knew 5 words. All right, what's this? What's this? What's this? And then after a month or so, I started picking up sentences, and then I'd send me to the shops with a sentence how to buy something. And I'd take that sentence and I'd change a few words. And then I got to the stage where I'd listen to the music. This song must be popular. So I'd go down to the Thai music place. I'd buy the song, and then I'd press play and pause. So I get the first sentence, I'd stop it, write down in English, Pom, P-O-M, Dongan, and then I'd memorize the songs, and then I'd go to karaoke bars. And I'd be the only Westerner in the karaoke bar. And can I please sing this? They go, are you sure? And then I'd start busting the song out, and then the dance floor would be empty. And 1 person, 2 people, 4 people. Next minute, the dance floor would be full. They'd be singing away. And then the guy hosting the karaoke, hey, do you have any more songs? I know the whole album. You want to sing a couple more? Sure. So I'd be singing there. I'd do like 3 or 4 songs in a row, and everyone's like, woo, go to Westerner.
That's amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
it was so cool.
It's fascinating.
I don't know if I was singing the right words or not, but because I was trying, because I had so much enthusiasm. Doing all the hand signals and doing all that.
It's not committing. No, that's great, man. And dude, it's actually pretty fascinating because you broke it down like fighting. You dissected it. You took it one step at a time, and then and at the end of the day, you checked yourself, and you had to be brave. And you're like, karaoke. You had to be brave. You had to go fight. Like you had to get on the stage. Man, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
It was it's when I was like, I worked when I was early 20s. I'm going to be a Thai singer. As soon as I retire, I'm going to get in. But now I'm in my 40s. Like
Hey, never too late.
I might have sounded good in the shower, but I don't know if I'm good enough to be on stage. But I just keep doing what I'm doing instead. So I just turned 45. A couple of weeks before I had my birthday, I just fought Nikki. So I'm so blessed to be able to be in my mid 40s and still be able to follow my passion and still chase my dream and still get those opportunities from Mr. Chattree on one championship. So even though things everyone's saying you should stop, but I still have the passion for the sport as I did when I was a kid. So why stop? Why stop while you're having fun?
I agree.
I still feel like I'm competitive, and I don't have to push myself to train. I wake up and I'm excited to train. It's not like an effort. It's like it's something I really want to do.
Yes.
So,
I believe in I believe in and I mean I'm a BJJ competitor. I grew up wrestling, but I've had a number of injuries. I've had my back fused. I just had my neck fused 3 weeks ago.
Geez.
But I'm gonna compete next October because I've committed to something and I have the passion and I have the support of my wife, so that's important too. But, so I understand, and I think like maybe she's the only person that I could talk to that would really make me stop and think. But other than her, you know, I'll know. I think I'll know. So I respect that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then it's still opportunity to make some money as well. So why the money's there and why the opportunities are to travel. And then because in Australia with the COVID, we're not supposed to leave the country, but with a government exemption, because it's my main form of income, they still let me travel.
Good.
I'm not sure if you've seen my Instagram or not, but when I flew to Singapore last month, I think there was like 5 people on the plane, the whole and then I think there was more staff on the plane than there was passengers. I don't even know how they justify flying there, but so another one is we have to do quarantine so it's 10 days quarantine when we arrive in Singapore. We're going to leave our rooms for special occasions, like you're allowed to leave for 45 minutes to train. And then when you come back, it's 2 weeks or 15 days quarantine in Australia. So it works out to be 25 days. And so far I've done two lots. So I took one of my fighters there, then recently I fought there myself. So out of the last 150 days, I spent 50 days in hotels, locked up in rooms.
Brutal.
Yeah, it sucks so bad. It sucks so
brutal.
bad.
Yeah.
So and then unfortunately, I believe Singapore is in lockdown right now with another surge of COVID. So I think all the fights are being postponed at this current stage, and hopefully things get back on track shortly, so I can get back on the bagwagon and start getting a few more fights out before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Let's hope for sure.
Yeah, let's hope.
Let's hope. Well, I mean, I'll be following it for sure. So, and be rooting you on once you get the next one announced. Absolutely. I know we're coming up a little bit on time, but any maybe like final words of encouragement or any kind of final things you'd like to kind of leave the audience with?
So I get constantly asked about like fighting and what should I do and the best thing is if you have a passion, chase it. Like I said before, no one's gonna lift you up if the opportunities are there. And fight as often as you can. The biggest classroom is like I said before, on the mat or in the ring or in the cage. You can do as much as pads and as much training as you want, but until you're in the cage, you realize, oh, that's what they were talking about, doing the blocks or keeping your distance or keeping your hands up, for instance. The more you fight, then you either win, and if you can win and still learn, even better. If you lose and learn, even better again. So don't be afraid to throw yourself in the deep end too. So when I was fighting in Thailand, I'd had 20 fights, and I was fighting Thais with 300 fights.
Yeah,
it's like I'm gonna die.
I don't know how they do that. Yeah,
but unless I cross those ropes, I'm not going to be a star. So I gotta fight fear and cross those ropes and prove myself that I might be the underdog, but I'm going to give it the best shot I can possibly give. And if I win, amazing. But long as I fight hard, the Thais will still respect me. Win, lose, or draw. As long as I give it the best I can do, and if I win, perfect. If I don't, the Thais will respect you either way. But if you get in there and give up and get a slight cut and there's too much blood, stop the fight, then they'll laugh you out of the stadium. But if you can have a cut, still push forward, and show heart. That's all that matters. As long as you're a warrior to the end, that's all that they appreciate.
Yeah, I really appreciate that about their culture of fighting, and it reminds me a lot of Asia, maybe on the whole. It's like that warrior spirit, and you can become, like you said, a fan favorite. If you fight through the adversity, they love you.
Yes.
You become beloved, and I think
Especially Japan. Japan are crazy about someone gets knocked down, they get up and they wave their opponent on. The crowd just goes, "Oh,
Wow.
this is amazing!"
Yeah,
And it doesn't.
yeah,
The Japanese are another level of just fandom. They're
sure,
crazy, and it's all about heart. All we got to do is show heart. And they
yeah.
have that samurai spirit.
Right, right. Yeah, it's beautiful. Man,
Hey,
thank you so much again. This was inspirational. Man, thank you so much for coming on, sharing a part of your life story with me, and everybody, actually. Again,
easy.
yeah, it's true story, John Gibson and John Wayne Parr.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.